Guys. All right, good morning. So today's parsha is Terumah, and there are two very beautiful and prominent teachings that come in this parsha that are important not only Jewishly, but actually in the Christian world as well, like theologically, like very important. So the first teaching is at the very beginning of the parsha in Exodus 25:2, and it says, God is instructing Moses, and tell the people of Israel, Vayikhu li truma me'et kol ish asher yitvenu libo. And the translation of that is to tell all the people to take for me a truma, an offering or a tithe, like a dedication, some gift, from every person whose heart compels them, right? Whose heart, it's of their own desire. They're moved to bring that gift. I actually, interestingly, I was looking for the Hebrew word, can't find it anywhere. Not any version of the root. Maybe someone else on the call can help who knows the Hebrew, but yidvenu, I was like, okay, daled bet nun, no such word, except in Yiddish, originating in the middle 1800s, and then we get the word daven, right? So the word daven, it's the same word. Like to daven is to offer something in your heart, right? To really to willingly come to prayer and off. But the Hebrew, there's like no Hebrew word. And then I was like, well, bain is like, to discern. Dove is a bear. Divuk is like to cling to, but there's no kuf in there. It's like, it's a weird word. It doesn't show up anywhere else. So I don't know if anybody can, I have to do some more searching, but I couldn't find a root for that. Anyway, so we get this commandment, bring whoever's heart compels them to bring some kind of offering for God. And then a few sentences later in the parsha, we get this teaching, Ve'asuli mikdash v'shachanti bitocham. And they will make for me a sanctuary, and I will dwell among them. Right? Asuli mikdash, make for me. Now it's interesting. So here's the big teaching that I want to offer. First of all, obviously, what does it mean to make a sanctuary for God in your life? For God to dwell in your life. And what I want to offer is a teaching that comes more from Kabbalah, which is that this letter Vav, the letter Vav, which looks like a straight line, kind of like in the body, it's actually the spine, from an embodied place of like where the letters live in our body. Vav is the spinal column, right? It's us being upright. The letter Vav is a connector letter. The word Vav literally means hook, and the letter Vav is a connector. It goes before a word to mean and. The something, and this and this, it connects. The very first time the letter Vav appears in the Torah is in Bereshit, when Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve et haaretz. God, in the beginning, God creates the heavens and the earth. This letter Vav Kabbalistically is thought to connect the heavens and the earth, the higher realms, the consciousness of God, and the material, the physical in the world. Vav is also the letter Vav is also the number 6. And 6 is 3-dimensional space. We have the X, Y, and Z axis, if you can remember back to your geometry or algebra. So we exist in 3-dimensional space. A cube has 6 sides, 6 corners, right? So that's how do we create a physical sanctuary in the world, physically in our body, in the world, that connects us to the divine, that when we are aware of the physical space we've created, God can dwell there. V'shachanti. So this Vav, v'yikhu li truma, and they will offer me, and they will build for me, and I will dwell with them. So I thought we could just play with that in the yoga practice and understanding our body to be this channel. The Hebrew word for channel is nour, which is the same letters, gematria, the same exact Hebrew letters. If you switch them around, is ratzon, which means will. And that's a name for God, actually, Kabbalistically. Keter, the highest sphere of God, is called ratzon. It's the will to create, the will to manifest, the will to connect with us in the human realm. It's the beginning of love, right? It's ratzon. So how do we make ourselves a nour, a channel for the will to be connected with our own body, with the world, with others, with the spiritual realm? Okay, I hope that wasn't too confusing and a lot for you. Okay, I see some thumbs up. Some of you really like that teaching. Awesome. Thank you for the encouragement. All right, so not to scare anyone, but I'm thinking we're working towards some version of handstands in today's practice today. All right, did I scare you guys? The working towards handstand is all about getting very tall and long and elongated in our body in two directions. That's all. And it's very Vav-like. That's why it's the peak pose, but everything along the way will just stretch you and feel great. So no work. Okay, so let's sit for a moment in meditation. So just get yourself comfortable. You can rest your hands on, in your lap, however that feels good for you. Close your eyes and allow yourself to drop into your physical form, right? You're sitting here as a three-dimensional, very material, corporeal being. So feel the base of your spine, your tailbone, your sit bones. And first let that root into the earth. You might even imagine that you're not just sitting on top of your mat, on your floor, but that you're really rooting down, right? As if you can grow roots like a tree down into the earth, extending, connecting downward. Maybe just noticing my body, my physical form is made of all of the stuff of the earth, all of the same elements. Notice how it feels to be grounded, right? And if your mind is still other places and still very active this morning, see if you can just let the mind quiet for a moment. Come into this stillness. Come back to your root, right? This feeling of being part of and connected to the earth, and let that ground and calm the mind as well as the body. And then I want you from within yourself, find your spine with your own mindful awareness. So from the very base, just kind of trace your spine. all the way up. You can do this slowly. It could feel very loving, very sensual even. This feeling of maybe you're drawing light up your spine. Maybe it's a soft touch of a finger. You're just finding your spine in the center of yourself. Then you can find your head resting on top of that spine and continue to trace with your mind. Bring your awareness to the very, very top of your head, the crown of your head. And as if there's an invisible thread there, and maybe an invisible hand reaching down from the heavens, gently tugging you upwards. So just lengthen, kind of elevate yourself, and feel this connection to what is above you, the sky, the galaxy. Might find yourself in this infinite darkness of space. Just notice how that makes you feel. And then keeping the connection to what is above, also remember and find the connection to what is below. And feel yourself as this very tall, straight line connected to both. If you know the Hebrew and you know what the letter Vav looks like, imagine that you are actually the embodiment of that letter right now. Then bringing your hands together at your heart center. So interestingly, in yoga, the symbol of the heart center is the Jewish star, which is 6 points, 2 intersecting triangles, one pointing upward to the heavens, one pointing downward to the earth, and they connect at the heart. So we bring this offering, this tithe, from our heart. So take a moment and see what is in your heart that is an offering that you have this morning. And as you're ready, you can open your eyes. We're going to start on hands and knees. I apologize to anyone who has trouble with knees. Definitely feel free to fold up your mat or use a blanket. We won't stay here too long. If hands and knees is not a good position for you, please take some alternative that does feel good for you. But what we're going to start with on hands and knees is just a gentle cat-cow pose. So you want to, again, we're just playing with our body in 3 dimensions. Okay, so you're just going to lower the belly, lengthen the whole front body, and then draw the belly in, arch the upper back, and lengthen the back body. So just play with that a few times. You can also do this from your back as an alternative. If your knees are not so great, you can kind of just like arch yourself up this way and then lengthen. Just find some other variation. All right, from here now we're going to go off that XY grid and we're going to go a little into that Z axis. So take some circles. right? So we're not just in a forward and backward motion. We're also in north, south, east, west, right? 6 dimensions of space. Good. And then we'll just add on, you're gonna lengthen your right leg straight behind you. And just find the strength, spread your hands on the floor, clasp your fingertips down, really feel the whole hand being strong. Don't lock the joints out in the wrist, right? We tend to lock into the joints. You're not really using muscle strength when you do that. So slight bend, belly pulls in and up. Good, you're just lengthening yourself. So I want you to think about lengthening all the way through the heel of that foot, out through the crown of the head. And feel the belly draw in, feel yourself strong. Now, take your left arm forward and reach the left fingertips forward and the right heel back. Just find yourself reaching in 2 directions. Good. And just for fun, bend your elbow, bend your knee, hug them in as close to each other as you can. Maybe you can kiss that knee. Good. Reach it back out. Lower the hands, lower the knee, and take a child's pose. And find your breath in your child's pose. Let the breath expand your back body like wings. This feeling of breathing in and filling yourself. Good. Let's do the other side. So you'll come back onto your hands and knees and take the left leg straight back behind you. So just find yourself in space. Sometimes we lift the leg very high. We're not aware that our hips are uneven, or we drop the leg down, or the belly is, like we're rounded. See if you can get kind of straight, right? So the belly is drawing up, the tailbone's lengthening, actively pressing through that back heel, lengthen through the crown of the head, and then lift your right arm off the ground, fingertips forward. So you're just finding that central column, and everything else is revolving around that. You feel that? How stable the abdominals are. Everything's drawing in and supporting you to be nice and tall in 2 directions. And then the elbow and the knee come towards the chest. Good. Lower the knee, lower the hand, and come into your first down dog of the day. Again, take a look at your fingers. Make space for yourself on your mat. Take up physical space. We were created as physical beings to take up physical space in a physical world, right? So give yourself that space. Good. Nice. Jen, try to drop your head a little bit more, lengthen the back of your neck. Dina, lift your hips up and back slightly and soften the shoulder blades if you can. Soften the shoulder blades so that you're not quite as rounded in the upper back. Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. From here in your down dog, just take your right leg straight behind you. Straight behind you, not all the way up to the sky. We're going to do that after, I promise. But right now, just kind of like what we did on the floor from hands and knees. Again, press down through the hands. Just press your right heel all the way back, all the way back. Belly in. Spine long. Good. Lower the right leg back down. Take the left leg straight back behind you. You'll notice this is a more intense stretch, obviously, in the standing leg, in that calf, in that outer hip. You're lifting the hips up and back. You're lifting that heel back behind you. And then lower the foot back down. And you can walk your feet up towards your hands. And just shake yourself out here in a ragdoll. Let yourself get loose. Shake out the wrists, the shoulders. Good. With knees bent, you can take your hands to your hips. Slowly unfurl, rolling yourself up to stand. Nice. So we're going to start with a few standing poses from Tadasana. So you're just standing nice and tall. I think if you were here last week, we talked about trying out different ways of doing your Tadasana, toes together, feet a little wider, feet. I like hip distance, but find what's comfortable for you so that you feel solid. And I want you to start by looking at your feet and finding kind of four corners of your feet, big toes across to the pinky toes, pinky toe down to the outer heel to inner heel to big toe. So just find like a box, four corners. Good. And then I want you to, again, grow roots down into the earth. Just feel like you're placing roots down. You might notice that the legs become stronger, not from a place of gripping and tension, but they just become more integrated, like sourcing power. Good. Tailbone is long, pelvis is neutral. And then from here, I want you to, again, just close your eyes if this helps. You can just find your spine in space. And you'll feel inwardly what your spine is doing. So you'll know if you're kind of contracting the low back or popping your ribs out and there's a curve, you'll feel it when you're really inwardly looking. You might also feel it if you're kind of slumped, right? Or if you're like you just feel, trying to come to a place of length. So again, maybe that little tug of the string at the top of the crown, kind of lengthening your ears from the shoulders, lengthening the back of the skull. All right, from here, hands to heart. Good. We're going to inhale the arms up overhead. And then exhale the hands back down to your heart. Yeah, let's just do that a few times. Inhale up overhead and exhale to the heart. Good. Again, inhale, arms up overhead. This time, just take a hold of your wrist, right wrist, and you're going to reach over towards, yeah. Good. Now, from here, you're stretching, obviously, in two directions here, right? You're opening up the right side waist. Good. Now, what I want you to do, if this feels good for you and safe, but press down through both feet, is just drop your left shoulder down under you a little bit. Draw your right shoulder back and maybe gaze more up towards the ceiling. Now you're adding a twist. So again, we're going from two-dimensional to sort of three-dimensional, right? Here we're just a side bend. Now we're a side bend and a little bit of a rotation and a twist. Really press down into your right big toe here. Good. Undo the twist. Bring yourself back just to the side bend. Come on up to the center. Drop the arms. Let your hands rest by your side. Close your eyes a moment. Just feel that in your body. It may feel like a brightness or a higher vibrant energy on the side you just stretched. Good. Inhale the arms back overhead. Take a hold of your left wrist and reach over to the right side. Just the side bend first. Good. Belly is drawing in. Tailbone is still long. Good. And now a little bit of that shoulders moving in space. So right shoulder draws forward, left back, and you're also in that little bit of a rotation. Good. Make that left leg really strong. Good. See if you can breathe here. Very awkward, uncomfortable kind of position, but we're just opening up the body. Good. And then bring it back to the center. Woo. Exhale your arms by your side. All right. Let's do one little meeting of heaven and earth kind of qigong exercise. And then I promise we're going to move through some other stuff and lunges and all that. Okay. Hands at your heart. Inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to drop one palm down and one palm up, going in that side stretch motion that we just did again. And you can exhale. Sorry, you can play with what inhale or exhale works for you. I think I like exhaling into the side bend and then inhaling back through the center. Good. Next time you come to the center, inhale your arms out to the sides. You're going to spin the palms behind you. Bring your hands behind your back to interlace the fingers. Reach those knuckles down towards your heels. Now notice the tendency here again to kind of reach the belly forward and crush the low back. Try not to let that happen. Can you be strong and straight here, like your letter Vav, while you're reaching the hands down, and see how that opens up the chest, the heart, the shoulders. Notice there's that core drawing in. Yeah, so for those of you who are more yogically advanced, this is like a natural Uddiyana Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha is this like kind of belly energy of like this drawing inward and upward at the belly, like this integration where the core just kind of goes whoop, you know, like a zipper. You might feel that here. All right, you're going to bend your knees and you're going to let yourself gently, gently, gently drop your torso over your thighs. Relax the chin to the chest, lengthen the back of the neck. You're just taking this nice forward fold here. If that shoulder stretch feels good for you, you can keep the arms as they are. Otherwise, you can drop the hands down towards the ground and you can begin to straighten through the legs, maybe one at a time, right? That might be gentler than trying to go directly straight with both legs. Maybe pedaling through the heels. We're just opening the backs of the legs, like the calf muscles, the hamstrings, the glutes. Good. And then bend the knees, slowly roll up. All right. Are we ready to move? We're going to go through some lunges now. Okay. And you might want to have your block nearby. Actually, 2 blocks if you have blocks. Okay. If you don't have blocks, you can improvise. Hold on to, and you may not need it. So let's just, okay. So from the front of your mat, hands at your heart, a smile on your face. Remember for a moment what you want to offer freely, willingly of your own heart for your own practice this morning. And take a big inhale into that intention. Exhale, diving out over the legs. As you inhale, come to a flat back. Again, even here, lengthening the spine, this time forward. Reach through the crown of your head, shoulders back. A little bit of that lat squeeze, like almost feel like those muscles are really drawing in. Good. And then you're going to bring fingertips down to the floor. Step your right leg all the way back. Keep your left knee deeply bent. And come on up for a lunge. Find your strength here. Yeah. Good. You can keep your variation. Keep hands to the heart if you want. You can keep arms out and open, maybe spinning them up to the sky. Arms up like a letter V, or temple mudra, hands together with the fingertips pointed. Whatever feels good for you this morning. Okay. Now, right here, put a slight bend in your back knee. Slight bend. Ooh, say hello to your hip flexor. Yeah. Don't stop bending the front knee though. Bend a little deeper in the front knee. Bend a little deeper in the back knee. Good. And now from here, lean back just a little bit, but not like you're rounding into the low back. You're actually lifting and lengthening backwards. So think about lifting that belly, lifting the lower ribs up farther away from the hip points. You're lifting everything up, 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 and then leaning slightly back. You guys feeling that? It's a big heart opener. Definitely opening everything on the front body. Takes a lot of strength. Good. You can straighten that back leg now. Just straighten the back leg. Keep the bend in the front knee. Keep lifting, lifting, lifting. Good. All right, from here, Find your blocks if you have them. You're going to step the back foot in a little closer. You can keep that foot pointed forward. Both feet are pointing forward and both legs are straight now. And you're just folding over straight legs. This is called triangle forward bend or Paschimottanasana in Sanskrit. So both legs are straight and you're really taking that deep stretch over the legs. So again, try not to get lazy in the joints. Think about really like engaging the muscles right above the knees. A little squeeze of that quad muscle. Yeah. And notice how when you engage the front body, the back body can lengthen more. You also feel a lot more secure. Find your ground. So feel and see where the feet are connecting with the earth. If your feet got really crunched up, separate them and spread them. Take up physical space. And can you feel your body as a sanctuary right here now? Can you actually love and honor your body as something holy, beautiful, and perfect with all its imperfections? This physical form of mine is the sanctuary where I invite in God. Okay, here's what we're doing. You're gonna bend your front knee. Take your blocks forward, maybe a foot forward of your front foot. You're gonna step all your weight into that front foot. And we've already done this twice now. Once from hands and knees, once from a down dog. You're just gonna extend your right leg straight back behind you. Reach through the heel. Try not to drop the hip or open the hip. Just keep it straight back behind you, like a letter T, balancing stick. Yeah. Good. Keep the quad engaged on the left leg. That kneecap is pulling up. And then maybe you lower the blocks. Maybe your hands come to the floor. You're going to go deeper. So now really fold over that front leg and lift your back leg as high to the sky as it wants to go, as it's able to go. And you can open the hip to do that. You can also point the toes of that right foot now if you want. Yeah, you're just taking a standing split. Woohoo! Enjoy the little bit of head rush. Maybe shake your head side to side. Remind your shoulders to relax. Let your face muscles relax. Good. Then you're going to bend that knee. Bring it into your chest. Just hug it into your chest for a moment. And then lower the foot next to the other. Woo! And you can stand yourself up. How you doing? So I told you we were doing handstand prep. That's handstand prep. Not so scary. Gets your heartbeat going, right? But we're stretching out those hamstrings, getting ourselves upside down. All right, we're going to do that whole sequence on the second side. Keep your blocks nearby. And here we go. Smile on your face, hands at your heart. Take a deep breath in, arms reach up to the sky. Feel your feet pressing down, your arms reaching up. Feel yourself as a channel, as a connector, a ladder between heaven and earth. So that energy from the earth is flowing upward into your body. Energy from the universe is flowing down through your fingertips, through your arms. You're just filled with life force flowing through you. All right, exhale, forward, 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 diving over the legs. Inhale, halfway. We flatten through the back, belly in. And then from here, you're going to fingertips to floor. Left leg steps back. Check out your right foot, spread the toes, bend that front knee, and you come on up for your lunge on the second side. And just get stable and steady here first. So stable, steady is this feeling of grounding and settling down into the feet, into the muscles, the bones of the legs, right? Feel your solidity against the earth. Yeah. Maybe feeling like you can actually draw energy up from the earth, and then maybe reaching arms in the other direction towards the sky. Good. And from here, we bend the back knee slightly. That back heel is off the floor facing forward. Both feet are facing forward. Your hips are facing forward. Yep. So you bend that back knee. Good. All right. And then from here, that feeling of lifting, lengthening, you might even want to feel this. Bring your hands to your lower rib cage. Like you can lift your rib cage up. Get more length out of the squishy part of the belly, right? Lift up. And then kind of like you're gently letting yourself lean backwards. So there's a very big lengthening that opens the heart. And the arms can also come up. Yeah, breathe. It's hard to breathe here. You always know you're doing a heart opening pose when your heart rate starts really going. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, something's working. Good. You can straighten the leg, the back leg, keep the front knee bent, deeper front knee. Yes, Sharon, you got it. Good, you got it. You got it. All right. And then from here, straighten through both legs. You're going to step your back foot in slightly. Both legs are now straight and you find your blocks and you're going to lean forward into your triangle forward bend here. Yep. Now, depending on your flexibility, it might be challenging for you to fully straighten your front leg. And if you can't fully straighten your front leg, it's okay. It's okay. This is the sanctuary you're building. This is the sanctuary you've been given. How do you honor and love your body with its capabilities and its limitations? Right? As long as the offering is from your heart. All right, we're going into that kind of balancing stick pose. So you can bend your front knee, bring those blocks forward, lifting and standing really nice and firm on the right leg. The left heel reaches straight back behind you. Again, the belly is engaged, drawing into the back of the spine. Finding your balance here, finding strength here. See if you can lengthen the crown of your head away from, yeah, if you really want to, you can even do what we did in that, you can take your right fingertips forward. We didn't do this on the other side, but that's what we did in that hands and knees pose, right? Really getting long in two directions. Good. And then let that left leg lift as high to the sky as you'd like. You might step the blocks in a little closer to you to do that. Good. Rebend that left knee, draw it in towards your nose or your forehead. And then lower the foot down. Ooh, shake yourself out, shake your hips, shake your arms, shoulders. And bend the knees and roll up. All right. Some options. And depending what you have available to you in your house in terms of a wall or a space to do this, you're going to do what you can. Okay. I want us to go into some form of inversion that is, again, the same energy of reaching in two directions. So actually, oh, here's how we'll start before we go to the wall. We'll start here, just in the center of your mat. Find your Tadasana. Okay. And I want you, let's see if you're going to be able to see my arms. Wait, I'm going to be on video. Okay. All right. I want you to reach your arms not so close into your head that you're crunching your shoulders up to your ears. I want you to have your arms slightly wider than your shoulders so that you feel like your shoulders can actually, like the upper shoulder blades can actually come together like in that V on your back body. Yep. And now I want you to place your palms face up towards the ceiling as if you like dipped your hand in paint and you're trying to make a perfect handprint up on the ceiling. Good. Now, as you're pressing up to the ceiling, I really want you to feel how spread your fingers are, how strong the hands, the wrists, the arms, all your muscles are really working here. You should feel your biceps pulling in, Everything's really strong in your arms. Now press down through your feet. You feel how your feet are wide and open and flat, just the way your hands are. Press through your feet down into the earth. Press through your hands up into the ceiling. Notice how your legs are so strong. Your quads naturally draw in. Your belly is naturally drawing in. You're feeling very long. I'm getting all like out of breath just holding this, speaking to you. Yeah. Okay. Release the arms and shake it out. That was your handstand. You guys all just did a handstand, but now we're just going to turn it upside down. It's the same exact pose. It's all those elements. Everything you just did. This feeling of a lot of strength pushing down and pushing up at the same time. And the spine being long and tall and integrated at the belly. That's it. That's all you're doing. Okay, so here's how we're going to prep it at the wall. And there are stages of it. Okay, so you're just going to go step by step with what is appropriate for you. The first thing you can do at the wall, and you can bring your blocks with you, you may or may not need them, is we're going to do a down, like a standing split at the wall, which we just did in the middle of the floor. We've done all these poses. It's just about putting them together. So what that looks like is I use the blocks if I want. That brings the floor up a little higher to me. That feels nice. And I'm just going to, just like how we were here in our standing split before, right? We're just doing it the same way, but now we're at the wall. So I'm doing my standing split, but the top of my foot is against the wall. It's going to go deeper. I have the wall, like I can bring it deeper by walking my blocks in closer. It's less intense the farther away from the wall my foot is, right? That's less of a split, depending on where your flexibility is. This is going to be, if nothing else, it's a nice inversion and it's a really good stretch for your hamstrings. Okay? If you come closer and slide your foot up higher against the wall, maybe you can relax your head and neck more. Yeah. And you're just feeling that being upside down. Ah. All right, and then lower that leg. Ah. If you're in the middle of the floor and you don't have a wall, you can just be doing the standing split again in the middle of your floor. Okay, take a break. Get your energy. I'm by the wall, so I'm just going to kind of do like a little gentle wall sit. You can do that if you like. If you want a not so gentle wall sit, you can come deeper and do like a really deep wall sit just to work your quads. Whatever, this is your practice, right? Do what you want. I'm just trying to take a little break from being upside down. And again, the wall, physical solid space, is helping me feel very grounded, like very solid. I can root my feet back into the earth. I can root my back body into something that is holding me. Okay, I'm going to come and do the second side. So same thing. I'm just going to take my other leg up the wall. And then I'm going to play with how close I want it to be, how deep, right? I'm working where it's appropriate and safe for my body. And again, maybe drawing into your awareness. The asuli mikdash, v'shochanti bitocham. Here I am in my body, making some form of sanctuary for the divine to flow and dwell and rest within me, within this moment, within this physical space. All right, and you can lower that leg down. Woo, you might want to come to your knees for a moment. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate a few next stages and give you options for what you want to do. Okay? If you know that your wrists are not good and you don't want to put more weight into your wrists and that doesn't feel appropriate for you, you're going to do a legs up the wall or shoulder stand. You can choose and opt for shoulder stand, but legs up the wall, you're already, or in the middle of the floor, right? You're just going to do kind of a half inversion. Again, straightening the legs, but you're going to ground the low back and the spine and the sacrum nice and relaxed. If you're in the middle of the floor to do that, again, you can just kind of stay here. If you want to go into a shoulder stand, you can lift the hips. Again, you can see how this is, I'm lengthening and elevating up towards the heavens. If you want to do your handstand practice, okay? All right. You're gonna face the wall. Hands come to the floor. Okay. One foot steps in closer to the wall. Can you guys see me? I can't. Oh, yeah. And your hands are spread nice and strong. You start with this, extending your foot right behind you like you've done before. And you're just going to play with trying to hop. This leg stays straight the whole time. You don't bend it. You don't flail it around. It stays reaching straight. We've practiced this like 3-4 times now. The other leg is where you're getting your little push. So you're kind of bending the knee, lifting. Little hop, little hop, little hop. That's all you're doing. Little hops. And maybe you can hop so much that you can reach up to the wall. And if you're there, the wall is there. It's supporting you. It's supporting you. Okay? And then maybe you can, just play with one leg on the wall, one leg off the wall, whatever you want to do, and come back down. So that's all you're doing. You're just like little steps, little stages. Maybe you just feel that momentary, like, oh, I lifted up. I felt suspended in time and space for just a moment. And maybe you just choose to lie on your back in your reclining pose. That's also fine. And I'm watching you guys. Yeah. Yeah, Ellen, I saw that. Nice. Yep. Perfect. Keeps that leg strong. Yes. And yes, Dina. Awesome. Very nice, you guys. Reach up, 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 up with your heels, with your toes. Reach up, elevate. You're not sinking down. You're elevating in 2 directions. Pushing down through the floor, lifting up through to the sky. Nice. And then wherever you are when you're done with your practice of, if you've been working with the handstand, come into, it's a little early to end the practice. I know you guys, like, if you're already in the legs up, it's kind of like, oh, who wants to get up and do anything again after that? But take a moment. It's okay. Take a moment, either in your legs up the wall, whatever your body needs. Awesome. All right. We are going to come back onto the mat to do one last sequence of poses. So let's combine a little bit of again, a heart opening pose with something that is both grounding and elevating. All right. So you're going to come onto your back. Yeah. And let's just start by hugging the knees into the chest, because that always feels good. So this word Terumah, which is thought of as a gift that is dedicated to God, right? A gift, an offering, a tithe. Later in the Torah, in Bamidbar, it talks about the Terumah as the first offerings of fruit and harvest from your field. The first offering of the wheat is a Terumah, of the barley. The first offering of the cattle, of the newborns, that's a Terumah. But the word Terumah has as its root the word rom, resh, again, another vav in there, mem, and that actually means to exalt or elevate, like we sing on Shabbat, Romemu, Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu. And it's this elevation. So something about an offering is also elevating. It elevates us, it lengthens us, it connects us. All right, here we go. Feet to the floor. Okay. You're going to push down into the feet and elevate the hips. Your head is down, your shoulders are down. You're just opening up those hip flexors. There's some strength now in the hamstrings, the glutes. Nice counter pose for all of the hamstring stretches we just did with the handstands and the standing splits. So we're re-strengthening the back body, opening the front body. This is heart opening as well. Good. And then gently lower, 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 slowly. Okay. Couple option would be to just do that pose again, holding that bridge pose. Other option would be bring the feet a little closer to each other, come up again into your bridge pose, but this time take one leg up to the sky. And there you are. That's harder, obviously, but I want you to have this feeling of pressing down through the foot that's on the ground, through your shoulder blades, through the tops of the backs of your arms, right? Push down to lift up. And you're lifting your hips up to the sky. You're lifting your toes up to the sky. Two directions connecting. Good. And lower that down. And if you did take that, you obviously need to do the other side, so we're symmetrical. So give yourself time, just rest, get your heart rate under control. And then as you're ready, you can come up and do the second side. All right. Let's take a little reclining twist. So just take your feet wider than your hips. Let your knees knock together for a moment. You'll feel that create a lumbar curve and you'll arch up off the ground a little bit here. That's okay. All right, arms can come out to the sides. And you're going to allow both knees to drop over to one side. That's going to be a big outer thigh, outer hip stretch on one side, as well as an inner thigh stretch on the other leg. Yeah. Just breathe here. Soften your face, soften your throat, soften the shoulders. And then take your legs over to the other side. You can add a little bit of grounded weight to that outer hip if you need, or to the inner thigh, right? Just remember gently, gently guiding your body to open. And you might even want to close your eyes here and just feel the shape that you are in, your physical form in space. How is this shape and embodiment a dwelling place for Shekhinah, for the divine presence to dwell within you? And maybe the breath itself is an invitation for spirit. All right, coming back up through the center. You have a few more minutes, so I'll invite you to do whatever else you need in your practice, right? Whatever you need, happy babies, or anything you want, feel free to take it. You could go into pigeons, you could do a reclined figure four. And then whenever you're ready, you'll let yourself settle into your final Shavasana resting pose. And even when you get there, just find your physical form in space. Feel your connection to earth, feel your connection to all that is above and outside of you. O Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Asuli mikdash bitocham v'shachanti bitocham v'asuli mikdash v'shachanti bitocham. Offer any prayers that are in your heart right now for yourself, for others, for our world. And as you feel ready, bringing yourself back to the space. Maybe before opening your eyes one more time, just feel your connection down through the earth, up through the crown of your head, feeling very deeply connected to everything that is within creation and to yourself as well. All right, guys, thank you for joining today.